A pleasant good evening and welcome to Titan Stadium in West Mifflin, Pennsylvania. Adam Gusky and Fred Guy on the call for you tonight as the top-seeded Woodland Hills Wolverines take on the 8th-seeded Bethel Park Black Hawks in the WPIAL Quad A quarterfinals. Woodland Hills 10-0 on the season, 7-0, the champions out of the Southeastern Conference, while Bethel Park 7-3 on the year, 5-2, the third-place team out of the SEC. Woodland Hills advancing to the quarterfinals with a 41-7 victory last week against Hempfield, while Bethel Park advances via a 34-26 win over Kiski. These two teams met back on September 11th, week 2. Woodland Hills with a 28-23 victory. And Fred, this should be a very interesting matchup. Not often do you see a rematch this early in the WPIAL playoffs, but tonight we will see one between the Woodland Hills Wolverines and the Bethel Park Blackhawks.
Yeah, in my opinion, I thought that was the best game Woodland Hills got from any opponent this season. Levi Matheny, the quarterback from Bethel Park, did a great job of really just delivering the ball across the field for Bethel Park, including a couple of touchdowns.
We are underway here in West Mifflin, PA, as the ball is scooped up by the Wolverines around the 24-yard line, out around the 30. The return man will be brought down on the return for Woodland Hills. There appeared to be the receiver, Jermaine Wynn. And Wynn on the return for Woodland Hills to the 31-yard line, where it'll be first down and 10 for the Wolverines, make it at the 32.
And it's really not too often that we see Woodland Hills starting the game with the football. Typically, they're if they win the coin toss, they'll defer to the second half. I'm assuming that Bethel Park won the toss, deferred to the second half to get their defense out on the field first.
So Woodland Hills starts with the football, left hash at their own 32-yard line, shotgun formation, sidecars to either side to receivers to the far boundary left. Handoff, it's Joel Shaw carrying it to the left-hand side. He'll slide through a tackle, still on his feet as he crosses the 35-yard line. Forced out of bounds as he breaks a handful of tackles out towards the 37-yard line. A pickup of a handful for the big fella.
And a very tough run for Joel Shaw. Just took the ball from right to left and initially didn't find anything, but kept his feet moving, bounced off some tacklers, and picked up some pretty good yardage on first down.
So a gain of 6 there on first down for Joel Shaw. And the Wolverines face a second down and 4 with the ball at their own 38-yard line. Wolverines left to right across your radio dial, computer screen, internet browser, or television screen. Motion man from left to right is Hoots as the handoff goes to Miles Sanders. He'll slide his way forward across the 40 to the 41-yard line, and that'll bring up third down and 1 on the pickup of 3 for Miles Sanders.
And good job of number 74 for Bethel Park, James Grameter, basically just standing his ground, didn't let Miles Sanders get to the edge. Miles Sanders found a little bit of a crease to make this a third and manageable situation.
Cold night here in West Mifflin, Pennsylvania, and most notably is the wind. And that will certainly play a factor, less for the Woodland Hills offense, more so for Levi Matheny and the Bethel Park Blackhawk offense. Pistol formation, as Shaw motions from right to left, he'll settle. Handoff. Sanders hesitates, trying to bounce left, now finds a crease, runs over a Blackhawk, he'll cross the 45, out towards the 47-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 for Miles Sanders and a first down for the Wolverines.
Yeah, I think whoever he ran over wasn't a small guy. I think Miles Sanders might have hit one of the defensive linemen and really put a shot to him, because once he bounced off that defender, he was able to pick up the first down.
So Sanders now with 9 yards on 2 carries as Woodland Hills head coach George Novak, the lone head coach in Woodland Hills history, along the near sideline, looks on. Wolverines break the huddle. Shotgun, sidecars to either side of Deron Cooper. Receivers split to either side as well as the ball rests on the left hash. Handoff goes to Joel Shaw. He'll drive his way into Blackhawks territory, where he'll be slowed down by a handful of white jerseys. A pickup of 5 for Joel Shaw. Make it a gain of 4 for the big fella. And it is second down and 6 for the Wolverines.
And Woodland Hills just running a little counter play on first down, getting Joel Shaw the ball. And a nice pickup. I mean, Woodland Hills really needs to understand that this is not going to be Hempfield. They're not going to hit the home run every time either Sanders or Shaw touches the ball. They're not going to get to the end zone. They really need to be patient and pick up yardages when they can.
Woodland Hills breaks the huddle on second down and 6, just under 10 minutes to play here in quarter number 1. The Wolverines with the ball at the Blackhawks' 49-yard line. Twins to the right as they hand off. No, Coop's going to keep it running left. He's got the first down and more as he's brought down around the 40-yard line. Nice ball fake by Deron Cooper, and it's a pickup of 9 for the Woody High QB.
And Bethel Park's defender, outside linebacker number 10, Dixon, really saved a touchdown on that play because it looked like Coop had a full head of steam as he was coming across the line of scrimmage, and he had a nice hole. But if it wasn't for Dixon, I think Coop would be standing in the end zone right now.
1st and 10 for Woodland Hills, the ball at the Bethel Park 40-yard line. Wolverines break the huddle with trips to the right. Sidecar to the left of Deron Cooper. Hard count by Coop. He'll hand off. Joel Shaw, the ball carrier. He'll run through Levi Matheny towards the 35-yard line. They'll say he's down at the 36. It's a pickup of 4 for Joel Shaw, and he now has 14 yards on 3 carries.
And I think Woodland Hills really is going to play smash mouth football on this first drive, considering they're actually going into the wind. As I'm looking at the top of the goalpost on each side, the streamers are really blowing in the face of Woodland Hills. So I don't think any pass attempts are going to be happening on this down or on this drive.
Cooper in the pistol. Ball in the middle of the field now as there's 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the near side right. Handoff. Sanders. A crease for a moment, but that is sealed up, and Sanders will pick up maybe 2 to the 43-yard line before being driven back. And that'll bring up 3rd down and about 3.
And give a lot of credit to that last play to the defensive line of Bethel Park, really taking a stand against the O-line of Woodland Hills and pretty much just shutting Sanders down.
Miles, 3 carries for 11 yards. Shaw, 3 carries for 14 yards. Cooper with 1 9-yard carry in this drive thus far. Again, Adam Gusky, Fred Guy on the call for you here at Titan Stadium in the WPIAL quarterfinals. Sidecars to either side of Cooper in the shotgun. He'll hand off on the counter. Shaw with the hesitation. He'll cut it back inside of the 30 to the 28-yard line. It's a Woody High first down and a 5-yard gain for Joel Shaw.
Good job of number 25 for Bethel Park, the safety Jeremy Lazari, coming up from, like I said, from his safety position. And despite Woodland Hills getting a first down, that play probably could have developed into some more yardage for Woodland Hills if it wasn't for Lazari.
So 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills. The football at the 28-yard line. Twins right, 1 receiver on the far hash left. Sidecars to either side of Cooper. He'll hand off. It's Miles Sanders running right inside of the 25, inside of the 20, still on his feet, 15, and out of bounds around the 10-yard line. Forced out by Jeremy Waderick, but it was a touchdown-saving tackle for the Blackhawks, and Woodland Hills has the ball 1st and goal at the 10-yard line.
And not that Miles Sanders makes too many mistakes when it comes to his vision, but I think on that last play he may have basically misread the block by the wide receiver for Woodland Hills. I thought he could have cut it back and maybe picked up some more yardage, even a touchdown.
Pickup of 18 for Miles Sanders. He now has 29 yards on 4 carries. Again, 1st and goal for the Wolverines. The ball at the 10-yard line. Cooper with sidecars to either side. He'll hand off to Miles Sanders. He's got a crease, running through white jerseys, reaches the ball across the goal line, and it's a Woody High touchdown. The Wolverines on top, 6-0 with 7:16 to play in the first frame.
Yeah, Miles Sanders just came from left to right, took the ball from Coop, found a nice crease, was met around the 2-yard line by number 25 Lazari, but didn't make any difference to Miles Sanders. He just bowled him over and reached out for the opening touchdown.
10-yard touchdown for Miles Sanders, who now has 39 yards on 5 carries. On to attempt the point after touchdown is senior kicker Thomas Sullivan Folio. The holder, Michael Whitehurst, the long snapper. Here's Stephen Rickert. And flags fly. And we'll have to check in with our referee as the flags come in before the snap. Flag was thrown by the umpire. And it's a false start against the Wolverines. That'll push Woodland Hills back 5 yards and make the PAT a little bit tougher, especially considering the wind here at Titan Stadium.
And Adam, I noticed that the wind was playing havoc even with the snap during the preseason or pregame warm-up. So this is definitely not an easy kick for Sullivan Folio.
This will be a 25-yard PAT attempt. Good snap, good hold. The kick by Sullivan Foley is up, and that kick is good. And with 7 minutes and 16 seconds remaining in quarter number 1, it's Woodland Hills 7, and Bethel Park 0. You're tuned in to the Wolverines and the Black Hawks on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. Blustery evening here in West Mifflin, Pennsylvania. The wind blows the football off the tee as Sullivan Folia set to kick off. The wind will play a factor, as we said, more for Bethel Park's offense than it will for the Wolverines, though. A low kickoff that will bounce past a couple of Blackhawks and will be returned ultimately from the 24-yard line. On the return for Bethel Park is one of their up men, and he'll finally be brought down crossing the 40 to the 41-yard line. So pretty decent starting field position for the Blackhawks after return by Jeremy Lazari.
And Adam, if you recall correctly, at the beginning of the season when these two teams first matched up, Levi Matheny, the quarterback for Bethel Park, was really able to basically toss the ball around the field. It didn't have a lot of, wasn't getting a lot of pressure. Despite throwing 3 interceptions, he did have at least one touchdown pass to number 2, Charlie Davis, who made a great catch in the back of the end zone.
Wolverines without Tariq Thompson defensively tonight, so that is going to be an issue for the Wolverines, and that will move Damon Johnson inside as one of the linebackers, and joining him will be Peyton Hicks on the inside linebackers. Hand off, the ball's loose on the carpet, the Wolverines fall on it. Covering it up is Saeed Holt, and it's a turnover immediately for Bethel Park as Jeremy Lazari just dropped the football on the handoff from the quarterback, Matheny.
Yeah, I didn't really see him. Didn't see Lazari get hit, at least not hard, by any of the Woodland Hills defenders. It looked like he just coughed it up. Maybe somebody slapped it away, but Johnny on the spot, Saeed Holt, who's basically been making plays all season long, comes up with a big fumble recovery.
So Woodland Hills will start this drive at the Bethel Park 46-yard line. The first turnover by Bethel Park happens very, very early. 7:05 to play here in the first quarter as the Wolverines start their second drive of the football game. Shotgun handoff. Shaw running left, trying to bounce it to the outside. He's met, banged around, and pushed back, but they'll say he gains the 44-yard line before his forward progress is stopped.
Good job with Bethel Park, really gang tackling Joe Elshaw, picking up, not really picking up much on first down, but it looks like Bethel Park is not going to let the fumble affect what they're doing on defense.
Second down and 8 for the Wolverines. Nice crowd on hand between the Wolverines and the Blackhawks here in West Mifflin. A short trip for both teams. As the Wolverines break the huddle into the shotgun, twins right, one receiver left. Cooper's going to keep it himself, trying to run left, but he's met, and the ball came loose. I think Bethel Park may have fallen on it here around the 44-yard line. And Coop, I don't know why he was reaching forward with the football, and it just turned it over. So the Wolverines take the ball away, then they give it right back. The fumble by Deron Cooper, and it will be 1st and 10 for Bethel Park, the ball at their own 45.
And that was a big issue in the first game for Woodland Hills against Bethel Park, was actually fumbling the ball. There was 3 fumbles by Woodland Hills, one by Sanders, one by Cooper, and then I believe Chris Wilson also fumbled the ball on a kickoff return. So Woodland Hills really needs to play ball security going into the later part of this first quarter.
So again, 1st and 10 for Bethel Park. The ball at their own 45-yard line as Matheny under center. He'll look right the whole way. The pass is complete out to the right-hand side. A sharp pass to Jacob Dixon, who had the fumble recovery for the Bethel Park Blackhawks. Gives the Blackhawks first down inside of Woodland Hills territory at the 38-yard line. A gain on that play of 17 yards.
And I'm not sure if that was a missed assignment by one of the linebackers or the safeties, because there is no way that Dixon should be that wide open, that far down the field against this Wolverine defense.
And now Matheny's going to throw again, and Dixon was open as he slid behind a pair of Wolverines, but he couldn't hang on to the pass. A bit too much mustard on it by Levi Matheny, and it's 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, and on that last play, I was actually watching Dixon, had a free release off the line of scrimmage, and then the safety, Hill, number 24, came up, and I don't know if he bit on the play fake, but Dixon was able to run right past him, and if it wasn't for a bad throw by Matheny, Dixon would have hauled it in for a really good game, maybe even a touchdown.
So 2nd down and 10. as the Blackhawks break the huddle in an I formation. Receivers to either side. Matheny, draw handoff. And the ball carrier met in the backfield is Teron Murphy. And Murphy is brought down back at the 40-yard line, a loss of 2. It looked like Joel Shaw on the tackle for the Wolverines.
Yeah, good job of Joel Shaw not biting for the play fake by Matheny, just staying home and reading the play and making a nice tackle for a 2 or 3 yard loss.
3rd down and a dozen for Bethel Park. The ball at the Woodland Hills 40-yard line. Blackhawks break the huddle, trips to the left. One receiver to the short side right as the ball sets on the right hash. Matheny sidecar to his left-hand side. Low snap. Matheny's forced to retreat. He's wrapped, breaks one tackle, breaks a second, still on his feet as he slides through a 3rd tackle, but ultimately the tackle will be made there by Wolverine safety Rodney Denard, and it will be a loss of 3 on the play. It could have been much more devastating for Bethel Park, but still a loss on the play backs up the Blackhawks to the 43-yard line, and the punt unit will have to come on.
Yeah, we talk a lot about Matheny's passing ability, but what we failed to mention, especially during this game, is the fact that he is a solid runner. And at any point, with the pass run option, he always is a threat to take it deep.
Matheny gets the punt away as it will carry down inside of the 5, bounce into the end zone. Smart play there by Wolverine return man Jamon Dunn to let it bounce into the end zone to our left-hand side, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Wolverines. The ball at the 20-yard line. Shotgun sidecars to either side. Handoff. Joel Shaw lowers the shoulder, drives his way forward. He'll cross the 25 out towards the 27. The officials accredit him with the 28-yard line. A pickup of 8, and it is 2nd down and 2.
And good job of Joel Shaw, basically coming from his right to left, really being patient and following his blockers, not really trying to make too much out of nothing, but he just did a good job of following his blockers and picking up good yardage on 1st down.
Second down and 2 for Woodland Hills. The football at their own 28-yard line on the right hash. Sidecars to either side of Coop. Handoff. It's Shaw. He's got the 1st down as flags fly on both sides of the field. And it's a 1st down for the moment for the Wolverines. We'll have to check in with our referee. And it's a procedural penalty against Woodland Hills. That'll push them back 5 yards from the 28 to the 23-yard line, where it'll be 2nd down and 7.
Yeah, Adam, I don't know if I didn't see anybody move along the line of scrimmage. I'm not sure if one of the wideouts may have gotten an early start.
So 2nd down and 7 for Woodland Hills. The football in the middle of the field at the 23-yard line.
And I just noticed that Baldwin Youngblood came off the field hobbling.
Shotgun, rather the pistol. Cooper, he's going to pass here. Looking left, he's pressured. He's going to tuck the football, running to the near side right. Now he's going to settle and throw. Throws it deep in the middle of the field, nobody there. And I'm not sure if his intent was to just throw it away or if he was trying to find Jamon Dunn. But either way, the incomplete pass brings up 3rd down and 7.
Yeah, really lucky by Coop to basically find nobody in the middle of the field, because he threw it into what looked like a group of Bethel Park Blackhawks, but luckily it fell incomplete.
Third down and 7 for Woodland Hills. Football at the 23-yard line. Cooper in the shotgun. He's going to run left. Pauses, retreats. Now tucks and runs. He'll cross the 25 out towards the 28, maybe the 29-yard line, but he will still be a yard shy of the 1st down flag, and it'll be 4th down and about 1 for Woodland Hills, and the punt unit will come on.
And this is going to be an interesting punt, Adam, because, one, it looks like Steven Sullivan-Folia is out there, not their normal punter, which was, Chris Wilson?
Yeah, Christopher Wilson did punt throughout the regular season. Thomas Sullivan-Foley a week ago punted for the Wolverines, and looks like he will be doing the same today. Good snap by Rickard. Sullivan Folia runs right, boots it away. End over end kick. Takes a very nice Woodland Hills bounce and will continue to roll inside of the 35. And it will be the Blackhawks ball at the 34-yard line. So Woodland Hills not able to take advantage after the punt by Bethel Park. Bethel Park starts this drive at their own 34-yard line with 2:47 to play in quarter number 1. Matheny off of play action, straight drop back. He's going to look to the near side left, and the ball will be nearly intercepted by Jamon Dunn. He couldn't hang on to it, but he'll get the PBU as the pass was intended for Charlie Davis, who had himself a huge game against the Wolverines back on September 11th.
And Dunn was step for step for Davis the entire route. It looked like it might have been a little bit of a pump and go, but Jamon Dunn didn't fall for it, and good pass breakup.
Blackhawks break the huddle, second down and 10. The ball on the left hash of the 34-yard line. Long handoff. Ball carried to the near side is Teron Murphy, and Murphy will be brought down as he crosses the 35 out towards the 36, maybe the 37-yard line, a gain of 3, and it is third down and 7.
And Teron Murphy had himself a great year as well. 140 rushing attempts for 1,226 yards and 9 touchdowns during the season.
Third down and 7 for Bethel Park. The ball on the near hash at the 37-yard line. And Woodland Hills breaches the neutral zone, and Bethel Park will have a much more manageable third down. It'll be third down and 3 instead of third down and 7. So third down and 2 here. The ball on the left hash. Matheny under center with a broken eye. Handoff. It's Murphy running left. He's strung out to the near boundary. Forced out of bounds close to the first down flag. It'll depend on the spot on the near side, but it's pretty close to that first down marker. And the referee comes over. He will confirm that it is a first down, a pickup on that play of 2 yards, and it is first down and 10 for Bethel Park.
Good job of Murphy of initially shaking off contact, which was around the line of scrimmage, and then picking up a couple extra yards for the first down.
Broken eye behind Levi Matheny. One receiver to the right-hand side, double tight end formation. Matheny off of play action, looks right the whole way. Now he's going to throw it straight down the middle. Wide open is the receiver. It's Jacob Dixon, and Jacob Dixon into the end zone for a Bethel Park touchdown. And Fred, the Woodland Hills secondary again breaking down.
That was a really bad breakdown by Woodland Hills on defense. Jacob Dixon really just had a free release off the line of scrimmage. He wasn't shoved, he wasn't chucked by anybody, and then once he got into the open field, the safeties for Woodland Hills basically came up on the play action, didn't even see him run by, and then the end result was Dixon in the end zone for a touchdown.
Kelsey Tischler on to attempt the point after touchdown. Snap low, but the holder gets it down, and the PAT will just sneak over the upright and inside or the crossbar and inside of the right upright, and it is 7-7 with 1:22 to play here in quarter number 1. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Blackhawks on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. Our focus switching back to the football field here in West Mifflin, Pennsylvania, where Woodland Hills and Bethel Park tied up at 7-all, as the one thing that we thought could cost Woodland Hills, their secondary, has done so, at least here in quarter number 1, as the game tied at 7-all on a 56-yard touchdown pass from Matheny to Dixon.
Yeah, that's just something where you always identify, some of the key players in a formation, and certainly Jacob Dixon, number 10 for Bethel Park, is one of those people that you really need to identify.
So the Wolverines start this drive at their own 34-yard line with 1:22 to play as the handoff goes to Joel Shaw. He'll run left, drives his way across the 35 to the 38-yard line. It's a pickup of about 4 for the big fella. And the Wolverines face a second down and 6.
And I think Woodland Hills really needs to get back to running the football against this Bethel Park defense. They're not picking up huge gains so far in this game, but what they are picking up helps them matriculate the ball down the field. It keeps the drives going, keeps the first downs coming, and the chains moving.
Shotgun sidecars to either side of Deron Cooper, he will hand off. Miles Sanders running right, bouncing into the near boundary, across the 45, out of bounds near the midfield stripe. It's a Woody High first down, and they will say that Sanders does step out right at midfield, and a pickup on that play for Miles Sanders of more than 10 yards.
And it seems to me that Miles Sanders stays to the left side of Cooper, and Joel Shaw stays to the right, and Sanders really just took the ball from left to right, got a good kick-out block by Joel Shaw on Levi Matheny, which sprang Miles Sanders for the first down.
Pickup of 10 for Miles Sanders, who now has himself 49 yards on 6 carries and a touchdown. Cooper hands off. Shaw driving his way forward inside of Blackhawks territory, inside of the 45 to the 44-yard line. A gain of a half dozen, and it is 2nd down and 4 for the Wolverines.
And Joel Shaw just took the ball right up the gut. It looked like he stutter-stepped a little bit to find a crease at the line of scrimmage, but then once he hit that crease, picked up some nice yardage on 1st down.
Coach Novak going to let that play by Joel Shaw be the final play of quarter number 1. We will head to the second frame, tied at 7-all. It's Woodland Hills 7, Bethel Park 7. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Black Hawks on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. Set to begin quarter number 2. Tune into our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Woodland Hills Football Network. Full game broadcasts as well as our highlight packages each and every week, every season here on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Adam Gusky, Fred Guy on the call for you here on the Woodland Hills Football Network. WPIAL quarterfinal action. Last season, the Wolverines eliminated by the Central Catholic Vikings in the WPIAL quarterfinals. 2 seasons ago, Woodland Hills advanced to the WPIAL championship game. 2 receivers right, 1 receiver to the near side left, pistol formation. Shaw motions from right to left, handoff. Miles Sanders looking to bounce it to the outside. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard shy of the line of scrimmage before he's driven back by a host of white jerseys. And a loss of 1 brings up 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, the person that made that play possible for Bethel Park was number 8, the safety Chandler Dietz, coming up and really getting to Sanders before he can get a full head of steam going and putting Woodland Hills in a 3rd and long situation.
Wolverines break the huddle. 3rd down and 5, the ball on the left hash. Cooper in the shotgun with sidecars to either side, 2 receivers right, 1 to the near side left. Cooper, he's going to hand it off. Here comes a Wolverine on the end around. Carrying the ball like a loaf of bread went Jermaine Wynn, but he's still able to pick up the 1st down to the 40-yard line. A gain of 5, and it's 1st and 10 for the Wolverines.
Yeah, and I'm not so sure if the referees aren't going to call for a measurement on this.
The referee says it is a 1st down. The line judges were not as quick to award a 1st down to Woodland Hills as they were to Bethel Park just a drive ago.
Yeah, and I like the play calling by Coach Novak on this. The reverse, I thought Wynn had a lot of more room up the middle, but he decided to take it outside, still picking up the 1st down. But again, like you said, carrying that ball like a loaf of bread away from his body.
No turnover, though. Woodland Hills has turned it over once, as had Bethel Park. Neither team able to capitalize on their opponent's giveaway. A pistol formation and a flag flies. Came in from the umpire. And it is a procedural penalty against the Wolverines. That'll push them back to the 45-yard line, where it'll be 1st down and 15.
Yeah, it seems like all of the penalties for Woodland Hills are pre-snap penalties and just mental mistakes before the play gets going. That's really hurting the Wolverines right now.
1st and 15, pistol formation. Shaw, the wing to the near side left. He'll motion from left to right. Low snap, handoff. Miles Sanders puts his elbow into the backside of Wilford Clark, and he'll drive his way forward for a Woodland Hills 1st down inside of the 30 to the 29-yard line.
Yeah, and some of the Woodland Hills fans are happy. Some of them are actually a little disappointed that they didn't think a face mask penalty should have been called against Bethel Park. But great, and a nice run by Miles Sanders to pick up the 1st down.
16-yarder for Miles Sanders, who now has 64 yards on the ground to go along with the touchdown. Slow, methodical drives for Woodland Hills twice today. So 1st and 10 is the ball set at the 29-yard line. Sidecars to either side of Cooper as the handoff goes to Joel Shaw. He bounces it to the near side left, inside of the 25, forced out of bounds around the 21-yard line. They'll say he steps out at the 22, and a pickup on that play of 7 yards brings up 2nd down and 3.
Good job of Joel Shaw, again coming from right to left, just getting to the edge, putting his head down, and picking up as much yardage as he could on 1st down. If there's any knock about that run right now, is the fact that I think the ball is in the wrong hand. He has the ball in his inside hand, should be on the outside, because once that ball's on the inside, it's more likely that it could get fumbled.
Pistol formation. Cooper dropped the snap. He has to fall on it at the 25-yard line, and that's the 2nd fumble today for Cooper. Fortunately, that one, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, ball security on a windy day is certainly going to be one of the keys to this game if Woodland Hills wants to win this ball game.
Cooper 3 carries today for 0 yards and 2 fumbles, 1 lost. Whistles blow before the snap, and they ask for the play clock to be reset. Pistol as Shaw motions from left to right. Hand off to Sanders. He'll slide his way forward, bouncing it to the right. 2 stiff arms inside of the 20. He's out across the 15-yard line. They'll say he steps out at the 16, but what a great stiff arm twice by Miles Sanders.
And that was actually after he had to shed a Bethel Park Black Hawk defender. It looked like he had one right on his heels, but did a great job of getting away from him. And then, like you said, Adam, 2 stiff arms later, got Woodland Hills inside the red zone.
So it is 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills. The ball at the 16-yard line. That 9-yard gain for Miles Sanders gives him 73 yards here in the first half. 9:04 to go in half number 1 as we're tied up at 7-all. Handoff. Sanders on the counter. Slides right, cuts it back left. He'll drive his way inside of the 15 to the 13-yard line. A gain of 3 for Miles Sanders, who now has 76 yards rushing.
And I really like the way that Woodland Hills offensively is being very patient. They're not looking for the quick hitter, the long run. They're really just taking the yards that Bethel Park's giving them and then picking up 1st downs and continuing the drive.
2nd and 7 for Woodland Hills. The ball at the 13-yard line of the Bethel Park Blackhawks. Woodland Hills right to left here in quarter number 2. Hard count by Coop. Handoff. It's Shaw this time, the ball carrier. He'll drive his way towards the 10-yard line before being driven down. And a very, very late whistle there. In contrast to the game against Penn Hills, where Woodland Hills and Penn Hills both saw carries stymied very early with quick whistles. That very different from what we saw 2 weeks ago. So a 3-yard carry for Joel Shaw. He now has 51 yards. The ball at the 10-yard line. 3rd down and 3 for the Wolverines. Tight end left, 2 receivers right. Shaw motions from right to left. Sanders dots the pistol, takes the handoff. Inside of the 10, spinning his way inside of the 5, driving his way towards the goal line as he reaches the football back. They'll say he is down at the 1-yard line, and it'll be 1st and goal for the Wolverines at the 1, a 9-yard pickup for Miles Sanders.
Miles Sanders did a great job of really fighting off some Bethel Blackhawk defenders on his way to the 1-yard line. One being Levi Matheny, who was basically on a run blitz and had Sanders in his sights but couldn't bring him down. And Sanders was able to break through the tackle and put Woodland Hills 1 yard shy of the end zone.
The wind really whipping now here at West Mifflin as Woodland Hills on a 1st and goal at the 1-yard line. Cooper, he's going to hand off, and into the end zone goes Joel Shaw for the Wolverines, and Woodland Hills on top of Bethel Park again, 13-7.
Yeah, again, Shaw just coming from his right sidecar position, took the handoff from Coop. 1 yard later, boom, he's in the end zone.
So Joel Shaw, 52 yards on the ground today. That his first touchdown. Sullivan Folia on to attempt the PAT. The wind, at least at this point, is basically to his back. The holder is Whitehurst, the long snapper is Rickard, and the PAT by Thomas Sullivan Folia is good, and with 7:11 to play here in quarter number one, it's Woodland Hills 14 and Bethel Park 7. You're tuned in to the Wolverines and the Black Hawks on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. 14-7, Woodland Hills on top of Bethel Park with 7:11 to play here in the second quarter. 1-yard touchdown run by Joel Shaw, and the PAT by Thomas Sullivan Folia. An incredibly windy night here in western Pennsylvania. So far, Bethel Park we thought was going to be slowed down by the wind, but their offense has been able to overcome the wind issues thus far, especially on the big 56-yard touchdown pass from Matheny to Jacob Dixon. 7:11 to play here in the first half as Sullivan Folia booms a kickoff inside of the 5 down to the 3-yard line, where it'll be returned by Waderick. Waderick has a crease, running from left to right, out towards the 40-yard line, and a very big return there after Sullivan Folia thought he was going to boom it for the touchback. Instead, it'll be a 37-yard kickoff return for Jeremy Waderick.
Now, the big issue for Bethel Park on offense right now is the fact that they're going into the wind. So maybe that will stymie their passing game a little bit. They're not going to be able to throw the ball down the field as effectively as they were in the first quarter.
Levi Matheny, 4-year starter, the quarterback for the Bethel Park Black Hawks. He will set in the pistol. The back behind him to the right-hand side. 2 receivers right. As the back motions to the true pistol, and Matheny's going to keep it himself, trying to run left, and he is met in the backfield. Brought down there, I think it was Terrell Barlow on the tackle for the Wolverines. Either that or it was Carlos Blanco Garcia. Either way, a stop 3 yards deep in the backfield brings up second down and 13.
Yeah, great penetration by Woodland Hills, especially the front 3. The nose tackle and 2 defensive nose guard and 2 defensive tackles did a great job of busting through the offensive line of Bethel Park, causing the tackle for loss.
And that was Tyrell Barlow on the tackle. Barlow, the sophomore, 5'11", 254. Straight eye backfield as Matheny is hit as he releases the football. It's sky high, and a defensive lineman had it in his hands. But I think that Amon Baldwin Youngblood got in the way and forced the incompletion, as the defensive lineman over there was Barlow, tried to catch it, but Baldwin Youngblood, I think, got in the way.
I wasn't so sure if that wasn't Saeed Holt that might have had his hands on the ball, but either way, Joel Shaw did a great job of putting Levi Matheny in his crosshairs and causing the ball to basically go straight in the air.
So 2 for 4 is Levi Matheny as the Blackhawks face a third down and 12. Matheny looking right, and the pass off the mark, looking for Jeremy Lazari out here on the near side, and the incomplete pass will bring up 4th down. And it is 4th and a dozen, and Jeff Matheny is going to bring on the punt unit.
And the punter for Bethel Park happens to be Levi Matheny, so just really, Woodland Hills really needs to make sure that a fake isn't in the cards for Woodland Hills, for Bethel Park.
And the snap is low. Matheny has to scoop it up, but he's brought down in the backfield inside of the 30 at the 28-yard line, and a bad punt snap gives Woodland Hills the football at the 28-yard line.
And a tackle made by Saeed Holt, who was actually looked like he was on a blitz or trying to rush the punter, but did a great job. Matheny mishandled the snap, and Saeed Holt made sure he made a short-handed tackle to cause the turnover on downs.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills. The football at the Bethel Park 28-yard line. 6:08 to play here in the first half. Levi Matheny with the big loss on that play. From the 38 back to the 29-yard line, a loss of 9 there, and Matheny now has minus 15 yards rushing. Snap high, but Cooper gathers it in. He's going to run forward to his right-hand side, inside of the 25, spinning his way down towards the 21-yard line, and somehow Deron Cooper, Miles Sanders, and Joel Shaw turn chicken you-know-what into chicken salad.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, I saw that this snap, the wind was having an effect on the snaps, and it looks like it happened to both teams. It looked like that snap didn't look like it was horrible. It just looked like the wind might have picked it up and tossed it to the side a little bit, but Coop did a great job of bringing it in. And, you know, you got two lead blockers like Sanders and Shaw. You might as well follow them and pick up close to first down yardage.
Sidecars to either side of Cooper. Good snap this time as the handoff will go to Joel Shaw. He's got the first down inside of the 15. Brought down at the 14-yard line. A gain of 7 there for the big fella, who now has 59 yards. And Fred, looking back not to that rush by Joel Shaw, but the one by Cooper, what I thought was so impressive, not that Joel Shaw blocked because it seemed like he was supposed to be the lead blocker on that play, but more so that Miles Sanders was cognizant of the bad snap, stepped out in front of Cooper and became another lead blocker and allowed Coop to pick up about 8 yards.
Yeah, what I've liked about Sanders the entire season is the fact that when Shaw gets the ball, he's the first person out there lead blocking for Shaw. And when he does lead block, he really tattoos people.
Hand off. Miles Sanders trying to bounce it to the near side left. Inside the 10, side steps in Blackhawk. Oh my goodness! He was shaking and baking inside of the 10 across the goal line for the Woodland Hills touchdown.
Well, if there's 11 defenders for Bethel Park, Miles Sanders made probably 7 of them missed. Really, really nice run getting to the left side. Basically, and then once he got to the left side, cut it up, made some people miss, and then 2 seconds later he was in the end zone.
A 10-yard run for Miles Sanders. He now has 95 yards and a pair of touchdowns today. Sullivan Folia on to attempt the PAT to build on the lead for Woodland Hills. Right now it's 20-7. The PAT makes it 21-7 with 4:51 to play in quarter number 2. It's Woodland Hills 21, Bethel Park 7. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Black Hawks on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. Some nifty moves by Miles Sanders and a 10-yard touchdown run for the future Penn State Nittany Lion puts the Wolverines on top 21-7. Before the game, we met Penn State head coach James Franklin. In fact, he's standing right behind us. And, you know, he's here checking out Miles Sanders, and he's got to be happy with what he's seen from the future Penn State Nittany Lion.
Yeah, and what he's doing so far, Miles Sanders, in terms of Miles Sanders, is the fact that he's really just picking up the tough yards. He's not really doing anything flashy or fancy. He's just really giving what Bethel Park's given him, and he's taking full advantage of it.
Short kickoff by Sullivan Folia, returned out across the 40 to the 41-yard line, where Bethel Park will start their second drive of the second quarter with 4:46 to play. They face a 14-point deficit.
And Bethel Park really finds himself in a bad situation. You're down 14. You got the wind at your face. You're largely a passing team. So, you know, and Woodland Hills has done a great job against the Bethel Park rushing attack. So right now you really need to find something in your repertoire that's going to put some points on the board.
Matheny, draw handoff. Ball carrier running right, had a crease for a moment, but that crease was closed quickly. And on that tackle was Peyton Hicks. Hicks, who was a reserve tailback for the good portion of the early part of the season, came in as a linebacker in week number 9 and has been really impressive in weeks 9, 10, and now in week 11.
Yeah, last week we saw him more on the line of scrimmage. You know, number 2, Tariq Thompson, is out for this ball game, so Peyton Hicks is stepping up in a big way for this Woodland Hills football team, especially on defense.
Teron Murphy with that 1-yard carry now has 4 carries, 4 yards. He's certainly done it the hard way. I formation. As Matheny is pressured, he'll dump the football off, and Teron Murphy would have been well advised to drop the football. Instead, he'll be dropped in the backfield again by Peyton Hicks.
Great job of Peyton Hicks just really reading the play. Saw that somebody was coming out of the backfield, a little dump-off pass, and made a very short tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
So a pass completion of -3 yards, and Matheny is now 3 of 6 for 65 yards. And Murphy, his first catch of the game, is again a loss of 3. Black Hawks break the huddle. I formation, Twins right. 1 receiver left. 3rd down and 12. As Matheny will hand it off to Teron Murphy on the draw, and he will just be buried by Wilford Clark. That kid is just so very strong. It's hard to block him, and it's certainly hard to escape a tackle by him. Murphy slow to get up, and that will force the officials to ask for an injury timeout. Now Woodland Hills will take a timeout of their own, so we'll step away. 3:01 to play here in quarter number 2. Woodland Hills 21, Bethel Park 7. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Black Hawks on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. Follow the Woodland Hills Football Network on Facebook, facebook.com/Woodland Hills Football Network. Updates on the Wolverines, both past and present, all year long on Facebook. Levi Matheny to punt it away after the 5-yard loss on the drop play by Murphy. And a punt, I don't know if Woodland Hills got a piece of it or if it just was caught up in the wind, but either way, a decent roll on the punt by Levi Matheny, and it will be 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills at the 48-yard line. It could have been a lot worse after that punt initially barely got back to the 40-yard line.
I didn't see any indication from the referee that the ball was tipped, so it was just a really, can't say it was a, I mean, I guess you can't say it was a poor punt, but I think it got hung up in the wind a little bit too much.
So 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills. They'll again start a drive inside of Bethel Park territory, this time at the Bethel Park 48. Pistol formation, Twins left, 1 receiver to the short side right. Hard count by Cooper, he'll hand off. Running to the near side left, here comes the big fella. He's got a blocker in front of him inside of the 25. Joel Shaw inside of the 20, cutting it inside of the 15 to the 10, sidestepping a man at the 5-yard line, and Joel Shaw with a 48-yard touchdown run.
And if you thought Miles Sanders, it looks like it's coming back.
A flag way back at the line of scrimmage is going to cost Joel Shaw maybe his prettiest touchdown run of the year. Oh my goodness. And Fred, am I mistaken, or has there not been a penalty against Bethel Park yet?
I was trying a couple minutes ago. I was trying to recall if I saw one. If they do have any at all, it's probably just a 5-yard procedural penalty.
So instead of a 48-yard touchdown run by Joel Shaw, again probably his prettiest of the year, it will be a holding penalty against the Wolverines, and I don't see much of anything there along the line of scrimmage. As Joel Shaw used the blocker out there, and then a little bit of shake, a little bit of bake around the 20-yard line, and did the rest himself. So the ball will be placed at the 42-yard line. Right now it's placed at the 43, so it would be a 9-yard penalty.
Yeah, I was looking to see on the replay what it might have been. The only thing I could see, it could have been Amon Baldwin Youngblood with a little bit of a hold, but it was well after Joel Shaw had crossed the line of scrimmage.
So it will be a 9-yard penalty because they say the penalty happened 1 yard past the line of scrimmage, as the handoff will go to Miles Sanders, spinning his way, now retreating, sliding through tacklers, and Miles Sanders was off to the races down the far sideline, and a very quick whistle. Earlier on, late whistles, now quick whistles.
My, oh my, oh my.
And the Woodland Hills fans on the near sideline are understandably aggravated at what the officials have done thus far here in quarter number 2 to their Woodland Hills Wolverines.
Oh, wow. I'm really shocked. Like you said, Adam, earlier when Joel Shaw had the ball in the first quarter, they took forever to blow the whistle. Now as Miles Sanders is spinning and bouncing off of people, stiff-arming people, they call it a quick, very quick whistle.
Woodland Hills at this stadium against Bethel Park certainly saw some controversial officiating some 6 years ago. When we have an opportunity a bit later, we'll talk more about that. Right now, Woodland Hills facing a 2nd down and 19, the ball at their own 43, as Joel Shaw tries to bounce it to the near side left. Tries to cut it out. Now he'll cut it back. Spinning across the 45, and now he will be hit and driven back and driven to the turf.
and no quick whistle there. That's unfathomable to me. So Joel Shaw has every white jersey on the field, slowing him down at the 47-yard line, no quick whistle. Miles Sanders has a forearm against his back at the 43, and all of a sudden they're going to blow a quick whistle.
Yeah, I thought Joel Shaw, if he would have kept through on his reversing the field, might have picked up some more yardage, but he thought he saw a lane in the middle of the field and tried to hit it, but didn't really pick up much yardage.
3rd down and 15 after the pickup of 4 for Joel Shaw. Cooper's going to hand off to Miles Sanders, trying to bounce it to the outside right. He'll be dragged down in the backfield, a loss of 4 on that play back to the 43-yard line. And 2 possible touchdowns on that drive negated by officiating. One on a penalty and another one on a very quick whistle, as Miles Sanders had forward progress kind of stalled. Timeout on the field by Bethel Park will step away as well. 44 seconds to play here in quarter number 2. It's Woodland Hills 21, Bethel Park 7. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Black Hawks on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. 4th and 19 for Woodland Hills, the ball at their own 43-yard line. Thomas Sullivan-Folia punts it away. A beauty of a punt will bounce inside of the 10. Continue to roll inside of the 5, and Woodland Hills just not able to save it before it goes across the goal line. A diving attempt by Jamon Dunn, but still a pretty nice punt by Sullivan-Folia. And Bethel Park will have to start their drive with 33 seconds to play in the second quarter at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, and I'm not exactly sure what they have called or what they're going to call, because passing plays haven't been their thing. They've scored 1 touchdown on a pass play ever since that touchdown. Woodland Hills has done a great job of applying a lot of pressure to Levi Matheny and also covering up the wide receivers for Bethel Park as well.
So it's 1st down and 10 for Bethel Park. The ball at their own 20-yard line in the middle of the field. 3-man defensive front for Woodland Hills. The nose tackle, Amon Baldwin Youngblood. The ends are Barlow and Cobbs. High backfield behind Matheny. Double tight end set as Matheny will hand off. The ball carrier gets to the line of scrimmage, no further. Woodland Hills tugging at the football, and that ball carrier will maybe pick up a yard ultimately after he goes down to the turf. The ball carrier that time, Jeremy Lazari. And Lazari, who fumbled earlier on, just his second carry of the game, now has 6 yards.
I think Bethel Park might be content with just letting the clock run out. Doesn't look like they're going to bring their team to the huddle. Or to the line of scrimmage, I should say.
So that will be the end of the first half. We will head to the locker rooms with Woodland Hills leading the Bethel Park Blackhawks 21-7. So a pretty decent first half for Woodland Hills, all told, Fred. We saw 1 touchdown for sure negated by a penalty. We saw what could have been a touchdown by Miles Sanders negated by a pretty quick whistle on his forward progress being momentarily stalled. Defensively, Woodland Hills, a couple of breakdowns in the secondary, but other than that, they've held pat against Bethel Park through the first 24 minutes of action as well.
Yeah, Woodland Hills as a team have done a really great job. Specifically, what I've liked to see was the fact that on special teams, 3 for 3 from Sullivan-Folia with the extra points with this win, as high as it's been kicking up. Sullivan-Folia has done a great job, but Woodland Hills defensively has done a great job against the run. Really stifling the running game, and then like you said, with the exception of that 156-yard touchdown, has really been in the ear hole of Levi Matheny with pressure from the defensive line and then coverage downfield from the secondary.
Let's talk a little bit more about the Woodland Hills offense, where we've seen Joel Shaw 64 yards. He scored a touchdown today. Miles Sanders 91 yards and a pair of touchdowns. So the running game flowing for Woodland Hills.
It is, and it's the hard way, because these guys are picking up 4 or 5 yards a carry. They're so used to the 15, 16 yards per carry average that they're really working hard against this Bethel Park defense, and the offensive line is coming up big as well.
Folks on the television side, stay tuned for the second half here on the Woodland Hills Football Network. On the radio side, it'll be the Woodland Hills Football Network halftime show. Again, your halftime score, Woodland Hills 21 and Bethel Park 7. You've been tuned into the Wolverines and the Black Hawks on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network.
We are the Woodland Hills Wolverines. Since 1987, we've been a part of some of the most electrifying football games in Western Pennsylvania, and we've established a national reputation of excellence. Whether you're a former player, a Woody High alum, a parent, or a fan, you're part of our Wolverine family. And now you can join us by becoming a part of our new booster club, the Wolverine Nation. Visit WHFBA.org and see how your donation can help our student athletes while earning you unique benefits. We're more than just a booster club. We are the Wolverine Nation.
What's for dinner this Thursday night? Chicken wings. Come on down to Turtle Creek this Thursday for Wolverine Wing Night at the Wolverina. Fresh, whole wings, hand-breaded and hand-tossed with 4 different flavors. And the best part is, all proceeds benefit the Woodland Hills football program. Wolverine Wing Night, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. this Thursday at the Wolverina.
Set to begin half number 2 here in West Mifflin, Pennsylvania, where Woodland Hills leads the Bethel Park Blackhawks 21-7. Adam Gusky, Fred Guy on the call for you all across the Woodland Hills Football Network. Taking a look at some individual numbers through the first half. Miles Sanders, 91 yards, a pair of touchdowns. Joel Shaw, 64 yards. He has scored 1 touchdown today for Woody High. Deron Cooper, 15 yards on the ground. He has done it the hard way, including a couple of fumbles, 1 lost, 1 he recovered himself. And we also saw an end around for Jermaine Wynn, picking up 5 yards for the Wolverines. Individually for Bethel Park, tailback Jeremy Lazari, a pair of carries for 6 yards and a fumble lost. A pair of receptions today for wide receiver Jacob Dixon for 68 yards and a touchdown. Tailback Teron Murphy has a handful of carries for -1 yard. He also has a reception for -3 yards. And the quarterback for the Bethel Park Blackhawks, Levi Matheny, 3 carries for -15 yards, including having to cover up a bad punt snap for the Blackhawks. Ended up costing them 9 yards on that particular play. And in the air, Matheny 3 of 6 for 65 yards. Good to have you along with us here on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Woodland Hills on top by 14 points as we get set to start the second half. We want to thank the Woodland Hills Football Boosters Association for their sponsorship of our television broadcast each and every week through the WPIAL playoffs until the WPIAL finals, where, knock on wood, we will be in 2 weeks. The Woodland Hills Football Boosters will be sponsoring our broadcast, so a big thanks goes out to the folks at the Woodland Hills Football Boosters Association. Fred, looking forward to the second half. First of all, Woodland Hills, they got to continue to run the football, and Bethel Park, they've got to find some offense.
Yeah, and right now, Woodland Hills is set to kick off to Bethel Park to start the second half. Now, if, Coach Novak is as smart as we think he is, and he has been, he's going to kick off basically left to right, right to left, forcing Bethel Park to start their offense against the wind. But it doesn't look that way. It looks like they're going to kick right to left, or they're going to kick to the right, forcing Bethel Park with having the wind at their back to start the second half, which is kind of surprised that they're going that route.
But in my point of view, you want to have Bethel Park playing into the wind in the fourth quarter. So that may be where the thought process is there.
But as dangerous as their passing game is, if they have that wind at their back in the third quarter, it could give them an opportunity to tie or maybe take the lead in this ballgame.
Thomas Sullivan-Foley will be kicking off for Woodland Hills, a pair of Blackhawks back deep to receive. It's Jeremy Waderick and Jeremy Lazari.
That's just a defense in me, I guess.
Yeah. We are back underway here in West Mifflin, PA, as the ball will bounce over the head of an up man for the Blackhawks, and off to the races comes Jeremy Lazari down the near sideline. He'll be cut under around the 45-yard line by Jamon Dunn, but Bethel Park will start with very good field position at the 45.
And again, right now, Woodland Hills needs to recognize number 10 on the field. Has been Levi Matheny's basically his go-to guy so far in this ball game, Jacob Dixon.
5 seconds into the third quarter, Woodland Hills on top by 14 points. Levi Matheny with an offset eye behind him. Wing to the left of the formation. That wing man will motion from left to right. Matheny, play action. looks right the whole way. He's going to throw the football short, and it is in and out of the hands of a Woodland Hills D-back. Back there, it's Jawan Hill with the PBU.
And great job of Woodland Hills of actually putting 3 guys around Jacob Dixon on that last play. You know, unfortunately, Woodland Hills was unable to come up with the interception, but that's exactly what Bethel Park needs to do, is find Dixon in an open area. That time, Woodland Hills shut him down.
2nd and 10 for Bethel Park. The ball at their own 45-yard line. Clock stop with 11:49 to play in the 3rd frame. Fullback Krabs from right to left. Matheny whips the pass to the near sideline for Charlie Davis. The officials say the pass is incomplete as it bounces into the chest of Davis, and that brings up 3rd down and 10. And Fred, we talked about it earlier in the game. Charlie Davis was the top target for Levi Matheny back in week number 2.
Yeah, and he had a sensational touchdown catch in the back of the end zone against Woodland Hills, making the game a little bit closer than I thought it should have been.
2 touchdown receptions for Charlie Davis back on September 11th against the Wolverines. Wing to the left, high backfield behind Matheny, 1 receiver to the right. Matheny, and whistles blow before the snap. Now Woodland Hills will call a timeout, and we will step away. 11:42 to play here in frame number 3. It's Woodland Hills 21, Bethel Park 7. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Black Hawks on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. Woodland Hills on top of West Mifflin, 21-7 with 11:42 to play. Cold evening here in western Pennsylvania, 41 degrees. Sustained winds at 14 miles per hour, but we've seen gusts well into the 40-mile-an-hour range. Levi Matheny under center, facing a 3rd down and 10. The ball at the Bethel Park 45-yard line. Offset eye backfield and movement early by the Blackhawks into the neutral zone when Jacob Dixon for Bethel Park, and that will back Bethel Park up to the 40-yard line. And if I'm not mistaken, Fred, that is the first penalty of the game against the team in white.
Yeah, that's the first one I can recall. And it looked like it should have been a penalty should have been called earlier for illegal motion because you had the running back and Dixon moving at the same time.
Yeah, the fullback did move, but the officials didn't catch that one. So instead, Dixon, who was set at the tight end on the near side, moves early, and it still will be a penalty. 3rd down and 15. The ball at the 40-yard line. Bethel Park in their road whites, while Woodland Hills wears their all-black home uniforms. Matheny rolling right, throwing. The pass is complete to Charlie Davis, and Davis is brought down inside of the 45 to the 44-yard line. A pickup on that play of 16 yards, and it's a Bethel Park 1st down. And Fred, I'm not sure that Charlie Davis actually ever was brought down on that play, but a quick whistle by the officials says so, and it will be 1st and 10 for the Blackhawks.
And I was thinking the same thing, too. And Charlie Davis did a great job of really just finding the lead stick on his, looks like 15, 16 and out, and made a nice catch for the 1st down.
81 yards on the ground now for Charlie, or in the air now for Levi Matheny as the Blackhawks go to the ground, and it's Jeremy Lazari, the ball carrier. He'll pick up 2 to the 42-yard line, and it's 2nd down and 8.
And again, Woodland Hills, especially those front 3 guys, the nose tackle and 2 defensive tackles, nose guard and 2 defensive tackles have done a great job of applying a lot of pressure to the offensive line and running backs for Bethel Park.
Eye backfield. Matheny looking right the whole way. The pass intended for Charlie Davis on the right-hand side is incomplete. Matheny trying to force that one in there as Jamon Dunn had stepped 1 step back on the coverage, and the incomplete pass brings up 3rd down and 8.
Great job of Davis of running off Dunn on that play and then coming back. Unfortunately, the ball just squirted right through his hands for an incompletion.
3rd down and 8 for Bethel Park. The ball at the Woodland Hills 42-yard line. Woodland Hills on top of Bethel Park, 21-7, 10:43 to play in the 3rd frame. High backfield behind Matheny with 2 receivers right. He'll motion a third receiver to the right of the formation. The snap is fumbled by Matheny. He retreats now. He's hit. He's wrapped. He's sacked by Peyton Hicks back at the 50-yard line. And Hicks is having himself a whale of a football game for the Woody High defense.
Yeah, going from a relative reserve running back at the beginning of the season to now becoming one of the standouts for Woodland Hills on the defensive side of the football. Peyton Hicks has done a great job so far in this ballgame.
Minus 22 yards on the ground now for Levi Matheny, and it is 4th down and 16 for the Blackhawks. And Jeff Matheny thinking here, is he going to bring the punt unit on or keep the offense on the field? The punt unit runs on quickly. Woodland Hills was prepared, though. Jamon Dunn, the lone return man for Woody High. Woodland Hills will not go after the punt. Matheny's punt takes a Bethel Park bounce and now will slide to the far sideline inside of the 15 to the 14-yard line where it'll be down by the Blackhawks, and that's where Woodland Hills will start their first drive of the second half with 9:44 to play in the third quarter.
You know, Adam, what we failed to mention about Woodland Hills in the first half is the fact that they ate up so much clock in the first half with the 3 touchdown drives. You know, those drives started at least well into their side of the field, and they just matriculated the ball down the field, eating up a lot of clock and really keeping the Bethel Park offense on the sideline.
Yeah, Woodland Hills touchdown drive starting at their own 32, their own 28, and the middle touchdown drive for the Wolverines started at their own 34. Cooper will hand off to Miles Sanders, who bounces it outside right, dancing his way towards the 15-yard line, and he'll be collared down by a Bethel Park Blackhawk. Credit the tackle to James Gemiter, and the gain of about 2 for Miles Sanders, and Miles hobbled as he comes to the near sideline.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he took a shot to the back on that last play, but he's obviously on the sideline in some pain.
On for the Wolverines comes Avram Abramovitz. In all likelihood, Woodland Hills will go with a one-back set here. And it looked like Miles took a shot in the back as he was collared on the front side. And athletic trainer Denny D'Amico taking a look at the Woodland Hills senior running back. Handoff, Joel Shaw. He'll hesitate as he gets to the line of scrimmage. Maybe actually a loss of 1 on the play, and it is 3rd down and 9. Tackle on the play by Chris Pauley.
And now, right now, Woodland Hills needs not to panic. They need to continue to run their offense. We understand that Miles Sanders is out, probably out for at least a drive or two, a series or two, but they really just need to stick to the game plan and execute. That's all that really needs to happen right now for Woodland Hills.
3rd down and 9 for Woodland Hills. The ball at their own 15-yard line. Sidecars to either side of Joel Shaw. Or correction, of Deron Cooper. Cooper's going to hand off on the end around. Here comes, I think it's Jamon Dunn, and he's brought down deep in the backfield. A very slow developing play, and the Blackhawks were all over that one as Chandler Dietz makes the tackle in the backfield. And the ball carrier on that play was Jermaine Wynn. A loss of 4 brings up 4th down and 14.
Yeah, and Bethel Park did a great job of really sniffing it out before it could even get going. And then, you know, Wynn didn't have too many options in terms of cutbacks to make anything happen.
Sullivan Folia, a nice knuckling punt that will take a Bethel Park bounce, but still Sullivan Folia did his best to get the ball out of the shadow of his own end zone with a punt from inside of his own end zone to the 45-yard line, where it'll be 1st down and 10 for Bethel Park. The Blackhawks drive ended right around the 50-yard line, and this drive will start at the 45.
And that was actually a tremendous kick by Sullivan Folia, considering he was kicking into the wind and was still able to get it to the 45-yard line, and I think he punted it around his own end zone.
7:21 to play here in quarter number 3. Woodland Hills on top of Bethel Park by 14. High backfield behind Matheny. Double tight end set. One receiver to the right. Matheny's going to hand off. No, they'll run the flea flicker. Matheny running to the near side left. He's going to throw it down the field. It's going to be a jump ball and in and out of the hands of Derek Caraway. He was retreating around the 5-yard line, had an opportunity to pull it in as Chandler Dietz was retreating, trying to play D-back, and the incomplete pass brings up 2nd down and 10.
And good job of Derek Caraway of not falling for the initial run. Did a good job of just sticking with his receiver. Dietz played it off perfectly. I mean, he was acting like he was blocking and then got about 15 yards down the field and just took off for a dead sprint. Unfortunately, Matheny couldn't make a decent pass to hit Dietz.
So 2nd down and 10 for Bethel Park. The ball at the Woodland Hills 45-yard line. High backfield. And Woodland Hills moves into the neutral zone. Now, Amon Baldwin Youngblood says that the center moved after putting his hands on the football, but the officials don't buy it, and it will be another pre-snap penalty against the Wolverines. That'll bring up 2nd down and 5 for Bethel Park. The ball at the 45-yard line. Fred, on that last formation, Bethel Park with an unbalanced line. They had 3 offensive linemen on the right of the center, and the tight end, Dixon, and just the guard on the left side. Twins right, high backfield behind Matheny. We'll motion a big man over to the tight end on the right side of the formation. Handoff, running right, Lazari, and he will drive his way forward, picking up about a half a dozen inside of the 35 to the 34-yard line, and Woodland Hills will be guilty of an absolutely foolish penalty for a blow to the head by Miguel Cobbs after the pickup of 5 by the running back Lazari. And Fred, there's no other word but foolish for what just happened there.
Yeah, you're right, and Miguel Cobbs needs to make sure he doesn't get himself ejected from this ball game.
So instead of 1st and 10 at the 35, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Blackhawks at the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Blackhawks. The football at the Woody High 20-yard line. This drive starting at the 45. Double tight end set. Short wing to the right. One receiver to the near side left. Matheny off of play action, running to the near side left. He's going to pause. He's going to hesitate. He's going to be knocked down to the turf by Miguel Cobbs. And if there's one thing you can do to make amends, make a big play, get up, go back to the huddle.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, Miguel Cobbs did a great job of absolutely pursuing Levi Matheny from his left defensive lineman position, came across the field, and great job of the Woodland Hills secondary of bottling up the wide receivers for Bethel Park as Levi Matheny had nowhere to go, and Miguel Cobbs made a nice play in the backfield for a sack.
Levi Matheny, 28 negative yards rushing. Matheny will step under center. Unbalanced line to the right now as the tackle motions over to the right-hand side. Matheny's going to hand off. Lazari running right. He's got himself a crease. Cutting it inside of the 20, inside of the 15 before he's driven down to the turf. And Fred, there was a hold in the backfield. The officials missed that one by a mile, and Lazari will get a pickup of about 10.
You're surprised by that?
Not a bit. Not a bit. Lazari with 23 yards on the ground today.
Lazar did a great job of picking up a lot of the yardage that was lost in the sack, and also picking up some more. Just really following his blockers and making everything, just finding a hole and picking up some nice yardage.
Matheny will step under center. Unbalanced line to the left this time as Lazari will take the carry. He's inside of the 10-yard line. He'll be brought down at the 9-yard line. A pickup on that play of 7 yards, and it's 1st and goal for Bethel Park.
And Bethel Park really has changed up their strategy in the second half of really using double tights and an unbalanced line to confuse Woodland Hills defensively, and really has done a great job on this drive.
Woodland Hills is going to use a timeout here, and I think the reason being they want to discuss this this unbalanced line situation. 5:23 to play. Woodland Hills on top of Bethel Park. 21-7. We'll step away. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Black Hawks on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. Follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/WHFootballNet. Coverage of the Wolverines all season long and all year long. First and goal for Bethel Park. The ball at the Woodland Hills 8-yard line. Lazari running right. Finds himself a crease. He'll cross the goal line for a Bethel Park touchdown. And the Blackhawks take advantage of big running lanes to make it right now an 8-point football game.
Yeah, and Lazari really didn't do anything fancy. Just took the ball off right side, followed his blocking, and then, once he saw that he was close to the end zone, just put the ball across the goal line.
8-yard touchdown run. And Tischler on to attempt the point after touchdown. Good snap, good hold. The PAT is up, and that is good. And with 5 minutes, 17 seconds remaining in the third quarter, it is Woodland Hills 21, Bethel Park 14. You're tuned in to the Wolverines and the Black Hawks on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. 21-14, Woodland Hills leading Bethel Park, with the Blackhawks scoring on an 8-yard touchdown run by Jeremy Lazari, and it's 21-14. Visit our website, woodlandhillsfootballnetwork.com, for complete coverage of the Wolverines each and every week, including all of our highlight packages, our video packages, and our players of the game and plays of the game. Should Woodland Hills advance to the WPIAL semifinals, they will take on either Pittsburgh Central Catholic or North Allegheny. Central Catholic at halftime held a pretty modest lead over NA in a rematch of a game from earlier this season. Woodland Hills with this 7-point advantage over Bethel Park. The Blackhawks with the lone score here in the second half thus far. Halligan's kickoff bouncing, and it will be scooped up by Woodland Hills at the 15-yard line. Across the 25 to the 30. To the 35 to the 40 as Derek Caraway is out across the 45 to the 47-yard line, but what else is new? Might as well be a flag down on a big return for the Wolverines. 95 yards away from the play. A flag utterly inconsequential to the play as it's down way back at the 23-yard line, nowhere near where the return man Caraway was. Can you sense my frustration, Fred?
No, not at all.
There has been one flag against Bethel Park today, and it was a procedural penalty. And the officials, after a very long conference, say it's a personal foul, a face mask against Bethel Park. Oh, and you can hear the Bronx cheers along the near sideline as Woodland Hills will start this drive inside of Bethel Park territory at the 37-yard line.
What I don't understand is the flag came in around the 20-yard line, so it was definitely thrown by a back judge or a field judge. I don't understand how he could have saw that from way back there when the play was going away from him.
I mean, unless a Bethel Park Blackhawk grabbed the face mask of somebody not carrying the football that we didn't see on that TV replay. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills, the ball at the Bethel Park 37-yard line. Snap high, it sails over the head of Deron Cooper. It's kicked back by Bethel Park. This could be trouble as it's scooped up by the Blackhawks back at the 24-yard line. And an errant snap by the Wolverines gives Bethel Park a whole heck of a lot of life at the Woodland Hills 25-yard line.
And Deron Cooper looked like he came up limping on that play as well.
Yeah, Miles Sanders did not come into the lineup on that previous drive. The substitute was Kevin Wilson, but that was irrelevant to the play as the errant snap sailed over the right shoulder of Deron Cooper. Lamont Spratley with a bad snap. Handoff straight up the middle. Lazari, he'll pick up a handful of yards to the 20-yard line, and it is 2nd down and 5 for the Bethel Park Blackhawks at the Woodland Hills 20-yard line.
And what I don't like is the fact that Woodland Hills burnt 2 timeouts on defense. In a game of this type of magnitude, you really need to save those to the fourth quarter at the very earliest. If you want to give your, especially if you're down late, if you want to give your team some time on the clock.
Matheny will step under center. Unbalanced line to the left. Lazari takes the handoff. He'll pick up positive yardage inside of the 20 to the 17-yard line. And that brings up 3rd down and 2.
And I think right now Woodland Hills needs to find some sort of penetration against this Bethel Park unbalanced line, because Bethel Park right now is doing a great job of just manhandling the front 7 of Woodland Hills and just pushing them around. And whoever's back there, Lazari or Teron Murphy, they're just doing a great job of picking up decent yardage as they go.
3rd and 2 rather. As Lazari runs right inside of the 15, he's met at the 10-yard line and driven to the turf. They'll say he's down at the 11, but it's still a gain of 6 yards, and it's 1st and 10 for Bethel Park.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Woodland Hills went back to their 4-3 defense. It looks like they're in their 5-2 right now with your stand-up defensive ends, and they just seem to be getting pushed right off the ball and not really being effective. And then the linebackers are getting eaten up by the tackles, which is causing the cutback lanes for Lazari.
3:13 as the clock winds here in the 3rd quarter. Bethel Park threatening 1st down and 10 at the Woodland Hills 11-yard line. Matheny off of play action, looks right, throws it into the hands of a Woodland Hills D-back, and he just dropped it right in the end zone over on that far sideline. It was Derek Caraway with his 2nd drop of an INT today.
And that was a great job of Caraway of recognizing the fact that Matheny wanted to go to Dixon. Came off of his receiver and broke up the pass. But Woodland Hills is really killing themselves in terms of these pass breakups because they should be interceptions.
Now we've seen Caraway with 2 drops of interceptions today, and we also saw Jawan Hill drop an INT. Matheny under center. He's going to run left. He's going to hand off. It's Lazari inside of the 25, and he will be brought down inside of the 10 to the 9-yard line. Tackle on the play by Demir Johnson, 5'11", 280-pound defensive lineman. And Lazari, number 25, picking up 2 there, and now has 54 yards after a very slow start.
Yeah, I believe his first carry, it resulted in a fumble for Woodland Hills.
That is correct. 3rd down and 8 for Bethel Park. The ball at the Woodland Hills 9-yard line. And a timeout will be called, this time by Jeff Matheny. As the Blackhawks want to talk things over, we'll take this opportunity to step away also. 21-14, Woodland Hills on top of Bethel Park. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Blackhawks on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. 2:19 to play in the 3rd quarter. Woodland Hills on top by 7, 21-14. Bethel Park facing a 3rd down and 8. The ball at the Woodland Hills 9-yard line. An incredibly blustery evening here in western Pennsylvania. Blackhawks threatening to tie this football game as Matheny will motion the fullback from left to right. Matheny off of play action, running to the near side left. He'll throw into the end zone, and it's caught for a Bethel Park touchdown. Wide open in the back of the end zone was Jacob Dixon, and we're 1 point away from a tie ball game.
Levi Matheny did a great job with the play fake. He actually sucked in Saeed Holt, who was on a dead blitz from his right outside linebacker position. Did a great job with the naked boot, and then found Dixon in the back of the end zone uncovered.
2nd touchdown pass today from Matheny to Jacob Dixon. Kelsey Tischler on to attempt the point after touchdown. They'll go for a fake. Either that or it was a bad snap. Either way, the holder's going to throw into the end zone where it's intercepted by Woodland Hills, and the Wolverines will maintain a slim 1 point lead, 21-20.
And that was a horrible play call by Bethel Park head coach Jeff Matheny. You have the wind at your back. You have the number 1 team, basically on the ropes. Why not tie the ball game, get your team some momentum, and then get yourself back on defense where you've done a good job in the second half so far, and then maybe pick up some more momentum. I just thought that was a horrible call by Jeff Matheny.
Yeah, I mean, that's an instance where, you're almost overthinking it. You know, there are times where Jeff Matheny has certainly done a great job here. That unbalanced line, something Woodland Hills certainly hasn't seen, and Bethel Park has taken advantage. However, overthinking it, and 1 point, you know, right now doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot, but who knows what it's going to mean down the line.
And that's all you need to win by is 1 point, too.
21-20 is the score, as Woodland Hills holds this slim 1 point advantage. WPIAL quarterfinal action. The Woodland Hills Wolverines and the Bethel Park Blackhawks. These teams have met 4 times in the WPIAL playoffs over the past 29 seasons. Woodland Hills has won all 4 of them. We want to thank Woodland Hills Football Boosters Association for their sponsorship of tonight's television broadcast. Visit their website at WHFBA.org. See how you can join the Wolverine Nation and gain some unique benefits while being a member of our exclusive club. And the ball fell off of the tee, so Bethel Park will have to send a holder in, as I'm sure you can hear the wind continuing to whip here in West Mifflin, Pennsylvania. Low scribbing kick that will bounce towards Woodland Hills up man at the 22-yard line, running to the near side right. It's Jamon Dunn. He's so dangerous with the football in his hands. And Dunn, sliding through tackles, puts his hand on the floor and regains his balance. He's still on his feet, inside of the 45 to the 44-yard line. And Jamon Dunn making things happen yet again for Woody High.
And that's the spark that Woodland Hills needs right now, going into this series. Up by 1. Oh, and it looks like Jamon Dunn might be down.
He's a little slow to get up. Is Jamon Dunn around the 45-yard line? $1:59 to play here in quarter number 3. Woodland Hills on top of Bethel Park by 1 point, 21-20. Jamon Dunn, the injured Wolverine, being tended to by athletic trainer Denny D'Amico, and by what we can see, stretching out the left calf, as Dunn may have just got a little cramp there. And it's amazing, Fred, when it's hot, you cramp up. When it's cold, you cramp up. You know, unless you're playing in that 60-degree weather, there's a good chance that especially the skilled guys are going to cramp up.
Yeah, and certainly sometimes, and I know I was guilty of this a lot in high school, is not rehydrating enough during halftime. You know, no matter what the circumstance, you really need to make sure you get those fluids in you. You know, as a midget, when I played midgets, our coaches would have orange slices for us just to make sure that we got enough nutrients and hydration back into us before the second half.
Well, right now, Jamon Dunn being tended to by the Woodland Hills athletic training staff. That's a concern. Another concern is Miles Sanders, who exited the game. It looked like some sort of injury to his lower back. He was tended to by athletic trainer Denny D'Amico the last time the Woodland Hills offense was on the field. We didn't see Miles Sanders enter the football game. I'm not sure that I see him here either, though it does look like he's stretching out in the Woodland Hills offensive huddle here along the near numbers, which is good news for Woodland Hills fans.
Yeah, and the fact that Dunn is down right now, Woodland Hills has done a great job, especially with their secondary wide receivers, with Mac Hoots, Jermaine Wynn. Bromovitz has been very effective. So the cupboard isn't bare in terms of the wide receivers for Woodland Hills, but it's really nice to see Miles Sanders back out there getting stretched out. It looks like he's getting ready to go.
Fred, earlier I said I'd talk about what happened here between the Wolverines and Black Hawks in 2009. Game went into overtime in the WPIAL semifinals. It was 35-all, and the Bethel Park Blackhawks went for a field goal, and it was blocked by Woodland Hills. Now, the ball never crossed the line of scrimmage, and there was an inadvertent whistle blown by the referee. At that point, the referee blows the play dead and then never tells the fans in the stands what happened. Now, he was very active with the microphone all night long, but there he doesn't let us know what happens, and he just lets Bethel Park attempt another field goal. They miss. Sam Schifo comes on Woodland Hills' opportunity with the football. He makes the field goal, and Woodland Hills heads to the WPIAL championship game, where they ultimately defeat the Gateway Gators 10-0.
Very interesting. I don't personally recall that, but that's certainly something that's very interesting.
Shotgun. Sidecar to either side as the snap slides through Coop's hands again. Shaw retreats, picks up the bouncing ball. He'll carry it back into Bethel Park territory. He's thrown out of bounds by a Blackhawk, and Bethel Park will be guilty of a penalty there. as the late hit out of bounds. It'll be ultimately just a loss of 1 or 2 yards by Joel Shaw, but the penalty will be tacked on at the end of that after the personal foul against the Bethel Park Blackhawks.
And I personally thought the referee took a long time just to make that call.
So they'll mark the ball at the 33-yard line, where it'll be first down and 10 for Woodland Hills. So Joel Shaw was able to turn what could have been another disaster by the Wolverines into something that was pretty much acceptable, and then you add the penalty onto that, and it's pretty exciting for Woodland Hills. Joel Shaw now with 60 yards on the ground. He has scored a touchdown today. Miles Sanders has scored 2. First and 10 for Woodland Hills, the ball at the Bethel Park 33-yard line. The officials ask for the ball to be held up here. And what is the contention? Because it was a dead ball foul after the play, what are we doing here? Why are they moving the sticks back? Fred, just so our viewers and listeners know, these guys have to be graded out highly in the regular season to get a WPIAL quarterfinal playoff game.
So, by judging by the sticks, it looks like it's going to be 1st and 1.
No, the ball's inside of the 35 at the 33-yard line, where it'll be first down and 10 for the Wolverines. What I think they wanted to do is they wanted to confirm that the penalty after the 3-yard loss by Joel Shaw back to the 48-yard line, you add the 15 onto that, and it puts the ball at the 33-yard line. They wanted to reset the sticks between the 45 and the 35 to confirm it was a first down, which they do, and it is 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills. But you know, when you see that it's just a loss of 3 for Joel Shaw, and then you add 15 yards onto that, it's pretty easy to figure out that it's a net gain of 12 yards and a first down for the Wolverines.
And it looks like Deron Cooper's going underneath center after 2 missed snaps.
Handoff, Joel Shaw running right. The big fella's off to the races. 20, 15, 10, 5. End zone touchdown. Joel Shaw with a 33-yard touchdown run.
And I'm looking for flags because typically after a solid Joel Shaw touchdown run, there seems to be a penalty flags. None this time. And Woodland Hills did a great job of, one, putting Deron Cooper underneath center, and then putting a hat on a hat offensive line-wise. And then Joel Shaw, once you get him to the second, third levels, he's gone.
So impressive the way the big fella can get separation down the field. It's 6'1", 235 pounds. Boy, Jeff Matheny over there eating an official's lunch. And it will be a PAT attempt for Thomas Sullivan-Folia. 1:44 to play here in the third quarter as Sullivan-Folia's PAT is no good wide left. And that will make it a 7-point game, 27-20 with 1:44 to play. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Blackhawks on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. An errant snap sails over the right shoulder of Deron Cooper. Joel Shaw scoops it up, races to the near sideline, ultimately forced out of bounds after a 3-yard loss. On the ensuing play, Deron Cooper steps under center for the first time this season when it wasn't a kneel-down play. He hands off to Joel Shaw, and the big fella rumbled 33 yards for the Woody High TD. The Sullivan-Folia PAT no good, and it is Woodland Hills 27, Bethel Park 20, and it will be the Bethel Park Blackhawks starting this drive at the 35-yard line as the Sullivan-Folia kickoff goes out of bounds along the near boundary.
Yeah, like I thought putting Deron Cooper underneath center after 2 consecutive errant snaps by the center really was a great job in terms of just mixing things up. And then Joel Shaw, again, just running the wham play, got a nice kick-out block from his offensive lineman. And then, you know, you give him that much space with that much room and that much speed, he's going to find himself in the end zone.
Now, Bethel Park decides they are not going to accept the penalty and take the ball at the 35. Instead, they will accept the penalty, backing the Woodland Hills kickoff unit 5 yards to the 35-yard line, and Sullivan Folia is going to have to kick off again. So a very short offensive drive for Woodland Hills, Fred. And I don't know if that gave Cliff Thompson enough time to talk with his defensive unit about making adjustments to what Bethel Park has done here in the second half. Sullivan Folia, this boomer to the near sideline. Again goes out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Lazari will not take the return this time either. And Bethel Park again will force Woodland Hills to kick off, this time back to the 30-yard line.
I mean, I understand the wind is kicking, and he's kicking into the wind, but I really think that's a mental error on Sullivan Folia's part where, you know, you kind of have to overcompensate a little bit and make sure you try to get that ball at least into the middle of the field to avoid, 2 5-yard penalties on kickoffs.
Wind picking up even further here at West Mifflin as the ball now blown off of the tee, and Woodland Hills is going to have to send a holder out here. The wind has played such a part in this football game, mostly because we thought it was going to affect Bethel Park's passing game, though the Blackhawks do have 2 passing touchdowns. And Sullivan Foley this time will kick the top of the football, and it'll be returned by the Blackhawks around the 45-yard line inside of Woodland Hills territory. And on the return is Cole Rogers, the reserve quarterback, and he'll be brought down at the 47-yard line of the Wolverines. It'll be first down and 10.
Well, with 1:38 left, Bethel Park is going to have to take advantage of that wind if they're going to try to get themselves back into this ball game, because throwing into this wind isn't going to do you any good. So, but they've done a great job in terms of running the ball in the past couple of drives with the unbalanced line. But Woodland Hills will find a way to stop the run. They're pretty stingy in that aspect.
High backfield behind Levi Matheny. Matheny off of play action. Hit as he releases the football, and the ball will slide innocuously through the arms of Christian Frazier. And the incomplete pass brings up second down and 10.
Peyton Hicks looks like he made a nice play of getting Frazier, making contact with Frazier as that ball was getting to him and forcing the incompletion.
Second down and 10 after the incomplete pass by Levi Matheny. Matheny hasn't been as crisp as we are accustomed to, though has been effective with 2 touchdown passes. Twins to the right of the formation, high backfield behind Matheny, and they'll motion to the unbalanced side on the right. Matheny, he'll hand off. It's Lazari, the ball carrier, inside of the 45. He'll be brought down at the 42-yard line, a gain of 5. And it is third down and 5 for Bethel Park.
Yeah, what I don't like in terms of the Woodland Hills defense is the fact that they're just running one linebacker right now in the middle of the field, which gives the offense some more cutback room if an offensive guard or tackle is able to get the helmet on a helmet with the linebacker.
3rd and 5, the ball at the 42-yard line. Clock winding under a minute to play here in quarter number 3. Woodland Hills up by 7. Offset eye backfield. And Matheny will hand off on the end around. It's Charlie Davis. He dances in the backfield. Tries to drive his way back to the line of scrimmage to no avail. Black jerseys everywhere. Bring him down. Back at the 47-yard line. A loss of 5, and it's third down and 10.
Yeah, great job of Woodland Hills of staying home, not biting on the fake. On the reverse by Bethel Park, and then Charlie Davis, as fast as he is, couldn't get himself out of the grasp of at least 4 or 5 Woodland Hills defenders.
I misspoke there. It was a loss of 4 for Davis, and it is 4th down and 9. And the punt unit comes on for the Blackhawks. Matheny boots this one to the near sideline. And now it's the guessing game. Where does the ball go out of bounds? The officials say at the 30-yard line, where it'll be first down and 10 for Woodland Hills, 70 yards away from pay dirt with 1 play to go here in the 3rd frame.
Yeah, I think Woodland Hills is going to be best served staying underneath center, using Shaw and Sanders in the same backfield. It's going to be kind of interesting. I don't know how you're going to want to line those guys up, whether it be a split back formation or an I formation with Sanders as your tailback and Shaw as your fullback.
We will see what the Wolverines do coming out of the huddle here on first down and 10 at the 30.
And neither.
Coop will step under center, one back set. It's Shaw handing off, taking the handoff rather from Cooper, and Joel will drive his way forward for a pickup of 4 to the 34-yard line, and that'll be the final play of the third frame. We head to the fourth quarter with Woodland Hills leading Bethel Park 27-20. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Black Hawks on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. Set to begin quarter number 4. Adam Gusky, Fred Guy on the call for you. Television broadcast brought to you by the Woodland Hills Football Boosters Association. We want to thank them so very much for their sponsorship of our TV broadcasts throughout the WPIAL playoffs. Woodland Hills on top of Bethel Park 27-20. Wolverines facing a second down and 6 with the football at their own 34-yard line. This drive starting at their own 30 after a Bethel Park punt. Woodland Hills going under center for offensive plays for the first time this season. But now with the wind shifting, it looks like they will go back to the shotgun. Sidecars to either side of Deron Cooper. 2 receivers right, 1 to the near side left. Motion man from right to left. It's Hoots, he'll settle, handle off. Here comes Shaw, bouncing it left, cutting it back. Sliding his way forward across the 35, out towards the 39-yard line, and a pickup for 5 yards for Joel Shaw, and it is 3rd down and 1.
And that was a nifty run by Joel Shaw, really making a lot of people miss. Started to the left, started from his right to it going to his left, but didn't see anything. Saw a little bit of a cutback lane, and that was actually shut off momentarily. And then he went around that and basically picked up 5 yards on 2nd down, leaving Woodland Hills with a 3rd and 1 situation.
Again, the shotgun. Sidecars to either side of Coop, to receivers right. Hand off. Miles Sanders, he's got the first down and more. There's a flag down back around the 40-yard line, and this one, in all likelihood, is coming back. And instead of a first down for Miles Sanders, this will be 3rd down and long. The officials talk things over here at the 40-yard line. An illegal block below the waist against Woodland Hills. The last time I checked, Fred, you're allowed to block below the waist in one-on-one blocking inside of the tackle box. And that's exactly what Woodland Hills center Lamont Spratley did there. The defensive lineman was not engaged by another offensive lineman. So the cut block by Lamont Spratley was 100% legal. And that flag was 100% erroneous. So it is 3rd down and 16 with the football back at the 24-yard line. The line to gain is the 40. Split backs. Now Woodland Hills will shift to the pistol. Sanders motions from left to right. Joel Shaw takes the handoff. He'll run right. He'll spin. He'll drive. And he will carry the football up to the 29-yard line, a gain of 5, and it is 4th down and 11.
Yeah, good job of Bethel Park's defense of just swarming to Joel Shaw. We know how shifty and how crafty he can be with his cut moves, his spins, but there was nothing doing for Joel Shaw in that last play.
Being a former offensive lineman, I am very aware of the rules of what you can and cannot do to try to gain an advantage. And a cut block against a player who is not engaged by another offensive lineman is 100% legal within the tackle box. Low snap, Sullivan Folia gathers it in, he'll boom it away. A very nice punt, and it will be returned by Lazari. He's still on his feet. Now he's hit hard by Miles Sanders, and he will be brought down out around the 37-yard line, and flags come in near the end of the play.
And I really hope it's not for a face mask because, 1, I didn't see a face mask. And 2, if I didn't see a face mask from up here, that referee didn't see a face mask down there.
This is going to go against Bethel Park because the umpire stands at the 37-yard line where the end of the punt was. And after the penalty against the Blackhawks, that'll push them back to the 27-yard line or 28-yard line? it'll be the 28. But it'll be first down and 10 for Bethel Park. Yeah, block in the back there, right near the ball carrier, pushing the Blackhawks back. Again to the 28-yard line. $9:58 to play here in the fourth quarter. Woodland Hills up by 7. Bethel Park with the ball, starting at their own 28-yard line. The officials set the chains, they set the football, and Levi Matheny will step under center with an eye backfield behind him and 2 receivers to the left-hand side. Matheny, he'll hand off. Lazari running left. He's wrapped by Wilford Clark, and then Lazari is hit by a second Woodland Hills defensive lineman out around the 34-yard line. A gain of about 6 brings up second down and 4.
And what was interesting on that play, Adam, is the fact that Bethel Park actually ran away from their unbalance. It looked like they were unbalanced right, and the play was designed to go left. And Woodland Hills did a great job of holding up Lazari, and then whoever number 50, Demir Johnson came in and really put a tattoo to Lazari.
Unbalanced left this time. Lazari will run to the left again. He'll drive his way forward. Looked like the ball sprung free for a minute, but apparently not, as Lazari crosses the 35 out to the 37-yard line, and it is third down and about 1 for the Blackhawks.
You know, Adam, back in '94, we ran a defense against McKeesport, where basically we had 6 defensive linemen, myself included, along with Darnell Barksdale on the ends as linebackers, and we had 4 defensive linemen in the middle of that field. It wouldn't hurt Woodland Hills right now to maybe think about running something with more defensive linemen.
Snap slides through the legs of Matheny. He's retreating. He'll be shoved down to the turf by Joel Shaw. And instead of third down and 1, it'll be fourth down and a very, very long way.
And right now Bethel Park is seeing how the other side lives with the bad snaps. I'm not sure if that was an errant snap due to the wind or the fact that maybe Matheny took his eyes off the ball.
37 back to the 23, so a loss of 14. And Matheny, low snap on the punt, but he will get it away, and it will carry towards the far sideline, go out of bounds right near the midfield stripe, and the officials will say it's first and 10 for the Wolverines at midfield. 8 minutes to play here. Woodland Hills, I think the plan, Fred, kill some clock, score here.
Yeah, that's probably your best bet. I mean, it looks like Miles Sanders is healthy enough to be in the ball game. You got the wind, wind at your back, so the snap shouldn't be an issue. Really just matriculate the ball down the field, and then with about 2 or 3 minutes left, might as well just punch it in the end zone and put a seal on this game.
Woodland Hills center Lamont Spratley responsible for a loss of 38 and a turnover. Bethel Park center responsible for a loss of 14 but no giveaway. Coop in the pistol. Motion man from right to left is Shaw. He'll settle to the left. Handoff, Sanders trying to bounce it left. Turns the corner inside of the 40, the 30, the 20, the 15, 10, 5, end zone, touchdown Miles Sanders. The young man was off to the races, and Woody High doesn't kill clock, but they will score the TD.
Yeah, and that was just a really nice run. Woodland Hills set up in the pistol formation, took the ball off the left side, got some nice blocking from Joel Shaw, picked up another nice block by couldn't see what number that was, and then just really turned on the Jets, ran past 2 Bethel Park Black Hawk defenders, and on his way to an easy touchdown run.
James Franklin left a little while ago, the head coach at Penn State. Unfortunately, he didn't see his future thoroughbred score that beautiful 50-yard TD. PAT blocked by Bethel Park, and it will be a 13-point football game with 7:47 to play. It's 33-20. Woodland Hills on top of Bethel Park with 7:47 to go. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Blackhawks on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. (33-20). Woodland Hills leading the Bethel Park Blackhawks. A 50-yard touchdown run by Miles Sanders. We thought the Wolverines would want to matriculate the ball down the field, eat up some clock, score a touchdown. Well, they weren't able to do that because Miles Sanders found a crease, and when that kid's off to the races, there's not much you can do to stop him. Low kick by Sullivan Folia will be returned by Cole Rogers, the reserve quarterback for Bethel Park. He's strung out to the far sideline. Credit the tackle to Derek Caraway, and it will be 1st and 10 for Bethel Park. They'll start this drive around the 38.
Now, Bethel Park's really in a tough situation. You know, they haven't had, I mean, there's been some bobbled snaps throughout the course of the game in the shotgun situation. You're down 13 points with, a little under 8 minutes to go left in the ball game. How do you get back into this game? I mean, it's going to be tough to pass, and, you don't have enough clock for you to try to run the ball and try to score that way.
Matheny in the shotgun, sidecar to his right, bunch to the right. He'll throw left instead. The pass intended for Charlie Davis slips over his right shoulder, incomplete, and it is 2nd down and 10.
Okay, what Bethel Park has decided to do is stay in the shotgun, but instead of a typical 3 or 5 yard shotgun, it looks like he's maybe 2 yards behind the center, hoping that the snap is going to be solid the entire time.
So 2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass for Levi Matheny. And Matheny hands off, and Damon Johnson absolutely tattoos Lazari in the backfield.
And that was just a really nice read by Damon Johnson, who's basically filling in for Tariq Thompson, who's out with an injury today. Just saw an opening and then darted right through that opening and tackled Lazari in the backfield for a loss.
Took that shot right in the hip, did Lazari. As Woodland Hills forces Bethel Park into a 3rd down and 13 with the ball at the 36. Make it 3rd and 12. Matheny looking left the whole way. The pass for Charlie Davis. He had it in his hands and then dropped it as he tried to pull it into his breadbasket. I think some contact by Caraway assisted in that incomplete pass.
Yeah, and Charlie Davis, who's normally very short-handed, has let at least 2 or 3 balls thrown in his direction go right through his hands for incompletions.
So another incompletion for Matheny, who usually is very efficient. The southpaw quarterback, the 4-year starter for Bethel Park.
And with Matheny as the punter, Woodland Hills really needs to be very conscious of the fake.
4th and 12 here. Matheny boots this one away, and the wind caught a hold of that one. And a punt that looked like it was going to carry at least to the 40 just hung up in the air and dropped dead at the midfield stripe. And Woodland Hills will start the drive again at the 50.
And I'm not so sure if that drive didn't take the wind out of the sails of Bethel Park. I mean, Woodland Hills did a great job against their, the bread and butters, their passing game, and Woodland Hills was able to shut that down pretty effectively on that last drive.
Yeah, Bethel Park did everything that they like to do. They tried to throw the football to Charlie Davis, and they liked to run the football with Jeremy Lazari. They tried them both to no avail. So it is 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills at the 50-yard line. Sidecars to either side of Deron Cooper. One receiver to the near side left, double tight end formation. Handoff, Joel Shaw, he's got a hole over left guard. He's inside of Blackhawks territory to the 44-yard line, and the big fella now over 90 yards as he has 93. And Miles Sanders on the afternoon, or on the evening rather, has 143 and 3 touchdowns.
And Bethel Park really needs to be careful that they don't stack too many people in the box against this Woodland Hills team. With the offensive line that they have, if they're able to put a hat on a hat against the defense with these running backs, it could be an easy touchdown for Woodland Hills.
Handoff, Miles Sanders running right. He's got the 1st down inside of the 40. And it is a 1st down for the Wolverines, a pickup of about 4.5 for Miles Sanders.
And I was trying to look at the referee, the side judge over here. He spotted this ball anywhere between the 40 and the 39-yard line. And I'm really glad he picked the 39-yard line because I wasn't sure where he was going.
Incidentally, Fred, I think I may be a little off with the yardage for Joel Shaw. I neglected to include his 30-yard touchdown run, 33-yard touchdown run, so he has eclipsed the century mark as well. Joel Shaw running from right to left. Inside of the 35, inside of the 30, still on his feet as he'll be finally brought down at the 25-yard line. What a run by the big fella.
And I noticed that Bethel Park is really trying to strip the ball away from Joel Shaw, and he had that ball tight to the chest as he came across the line of scrimmage and then picking up the first down.
So Joel Shaw with 149 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Miles Sanders 147 yards and 3 TDs today. Woodland Hills in the shotgun. Sidecars to either side of Coop as Hoots motions from left to right. Handoff. Sanders running right, cutting back left. Turns his back, drives his way forward. They'll say he's down at the 21-yard line. A gain of 5 brings up 2nd down and 5. Sanders with 152 yards on the ground and 3 touchdowns today.
And right now, I think Woodland Hills is content with running the double tight with the single wide receiver and then just giving it to your thoroughbreds, giving it to Shaw, giving it to Sanders, and then letting them push the ball down the field.
Yeah, double tight end set. Rickard, the tight end to the right. To the left-hand side, it's Puel. One receiver over on that far side right is Jermaine Wynn. Handoff. Joel Shaw running from right to left. And he will be brought down at the line of scrimmage. They'll actually say maybe a loss of 1 by the official on the far side. The official on the near side, though, he will spot it at the 21-yard line where it will be 3rd down and 5. No gain for the big fella.
Yeah, good job with Bethel Park with their penetration on their defensive line, getting to Shaw before you can get going.
Clock winding to 4 minutes to play here. Woodland Hills with a 13-point advantage, a score here, and the Wolverines will advance to the WPIAL semifinals for the 15th time in program history. Handoff. Shaw running right, driving his way forward inside of the 15-yard line to the 14. It's a Woody High 1st down, a gain of 7, and the Wolverines continue to pound it at the Bethel Park Blackhawks.
You know, the one thing I noticed about the Bethel Park Blackhawk defense is the fact that they're not being as aggressive against Miles Sanders as they were in the first half.
Bethel Park takes a timeout. We'll step away as well. It's 33-20. Woodland Hills leading Bethel Park. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Blackhawks on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. 3:43 to play here in regulation. Woodland Hills on top of Bethel Park, 33-20. The Wolverines with the ball inside of the Blackhawks red zone. 1st down and 10. The ball at the Bethel Park 14. Cooper in the shotgun. Sidecars to either side. Double tight end formation. Handoff to Shaw on the counter. He'll run to the left-hand side. He'll drive his way forward with a handful of white jerseys on his back. He's still pushing his way forward towards the 10-yard line. Finally, the whistle will blow. A pickup of 4 for Joel Shaw, and it's 2nd down and 6.
And there's really no quit in that young man at all. Just kept his feet driving. Came from right to left like he typically does. Looked like there was a little bit of a counter. Followed his blocking. And Bethel Park did a great job of wrapping him up, but really couldn't get him to the turf.
Just over 3 minutes to play. As Woodland Hills has the ball, 2nd down and 6 at the 10-yard line. Sidecars to either side of Cooper. Hoots motions from left to right. Handoff. Sanders dancing right. Stiff arm. Inside of the 10. He'll step out of bounds close to the 1st down flag. We'll say Miles steps out inside of the 6-yard line at the 5. And that should be pretty close to a 1st down. They'll say it's 3rd down and 1 as Miles picked up 5 on 2nd and 6.
And again, Woodland Hills running the wham with Miles Sanders did a great job of making some people miss. And then once he got to the outside, if it wasn't for number 25, Lazari, pushing him out of bounds, Miles Sanders would have scored another touchdown.
So 3rd and 1 for Woodland Hills. 2:50 to play. The clock stopped after Sanders steps out of bounds. Wind motions. Snap through the hands of Cooper, and he'll just have to cover it up back at the 10-yard line. And now it is 4th down and 6 for the Wolverines.
Looking to see if Woodland Hills might try a field goal from that angle with the wind at their back. It should be okay with Sullivan Folio.
Yeah, you'd think so, especially with the wind at the back and the ball pushed out at the 10-yard line. It would be a 27-yard field goal attempt.
And that would certainly force Bethel Park, if they were going to score 2 touchdowns, to go for two-point conversions to possibly try to win the game, but I don't really see that happening.
So now it's 4th down and 6 for the Wolverines, the ball at the 10-yard line. Cooper in the shotgun, sidecars to either side. Low snap. Shaw, the ball carrier. He'll run to the near side left. He's into the end zone for a Woodland Hills touchdown, and the Woodland Hills Wolverines are headed back to the WPIAL semifinals.
Yeah, Woodland Hills really put the exclamation point on this game with that drive, really just taking the ball right down the field. And with the combination of Sanders and Shaw, it's kind of hard to stop those guys, but you got to give a lot of that credit to the big guys up front because they've done a great job all night long.
10-yard touchdown run for Joel Shaw, his 3rd touchdown of the game. He has 163 yards and 3 TDs. Miles Sanders has 164 yards and 3 TDs. Sullivan Foley on to attempt the point after touchdown. This one driven between the uprights. And with 2 minutes remaining, Woodland Hills has doubled up Bethel Park 40-20. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Black Hawks on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. Adam Gusky and Fred Guy high above the artificial surface here in West Mifflin, Pennsylvania, where Woodland Hills leads Bethel Park 40-20 with 2 minutes to play in the WPIAL quarterfinals. The Bethel Park fans along the far sideline have seen enough. They know that their season has ended, while Woodland Hills will head back to the WPIAL semifinals. Yet again, Woodland Hills has been there so many times, Fred. And Wolverines have been to 10 WPIAL championship games, winning 5. Their 11th trip will be determined next week as they will take on either North Allegheny or Pittsburgh Central Catholic. Sullivan Foley's kickoff, end over end, down to the 11-yard line where the Blackhawks will return it. It's Lazari on the return, and a textbook tackle right around the 25-yard line. The nice hit by Asheed Page Jones.
Oh, and I'm sure that felt good for Page Jones, really just getting the shoulder pad right into the midsection of the ball carrier.
1:54 to go here. The Bethel Park offense will take the field. Levi Matheny playing his final game for his dad, Jeff, here at West Mifflin High School.
Fortunately for Woodland Hills, Levi Matheny is going to go 0-5 in his career against the Wolverines.
Shotgun, twins to either side. Matheny looking right, throwing right. It's batted, and it's nearly intercepted by Damon Johnson. He took it away from Charlie Davis, and that is the 4th interception dropped by the Wolverines today.
Oh, and that would have been a pretty one because that would have been a pick 6 for Damon Johnson, who, capping off a great career for Woodland Hills, would have been a nice, little trophy, so to speak, to add to his career.
So the incomplete pass for Matheny. And again, twins to either side. Matheny looking right. Now he's going to step up. He's going to run. He's going to be hit, and he's going to be shouldered down to the turf. The tackle by Damon Johnson. A pickup of 2 for Matheny, and the clock will wind to 1:35 to go here. And Bethel Park faces a 3rd down and 7.
Yeah, after those last 2 plays, I don't see Bethel Park being in a hurry to get to the line of scrimmage.
So 3rd and 7. Matheny and the shotgun, twins to either side. Clock winding to 1:15 to play. Low snap, Matheny throws right, and the pass through the hands of Jeremy Waderick, incomplete. And the clock stops. And the Blackhawks have the ball, 4th down and 7 at their own 33. And you've got to assume that Bethel Park's going to punt here. And I can't imagine that they're going to keep the offense on the field way back at their own 33-yard line, and they will not.
Yeah, Devon Johnson really got lucky on that last play. I thought he might have been flagged for a unnecessary roughness call after the ball was incomplete. It looked like he came and took a dive at the receiver.
No, they will run the football. Matheny under center. He's going to run off a play action to his left-hand side. He throws left. The pass is complete. Out there is Jacob Dixon at the 50-yard line. A pickup of 17 yards there from Matheny to Dixon. And Matheny now eclipses the 100-yard mark in the air.
Yeah, and it looked like Matheny went back to his old bread and butter. That's the play that they ran early in the first half against Woodland Hills and was very successful with it.
I actually misspoke. 98 yards in the air for Matheny. Now he eclipses the century mark with that pass to the far sideline to Dixon. And that one will cover 8 yards. And Matheny now with 106 yards passing. And Dixon now with 4 catches for the Bethel Park Blackhawks. Matheny throwing left. The pass slides to the hands of Dixon, incomplete. And it is now 3rd down and 2 for Bethel Park. The clock stopped with 36 seconds to play. Third and 2 for Bethel Park. The football at the Woodland Hills 42-yard line. Woodland Hills 36 seconds away from heading back to the WPIAL semifinals. High backfield behind Matheny. He'll run off of play action. He'll look right. Now he'll take off running to the left-hand side. Inside of the 40, inside of the 30, and he'll step out of bounds at the 27-yard line. Pick up of 15 yards there for Levi Matheny, and that'll help his stats a bit as he goes from negative 25 yards rushing to negative 10.
Yeah, and the one thing I noticed about this last play is Saeed Holt was really locked up with Jacob Dixon, which is something that we haven't seen much of all day. It looked like Dixon has had a free release pretty much any time he went down the field.
Matheny will step under center with receivers to either side. Off of play action, he'll look left the whole way. A little hitch and go. And the ball will be, another dropped interception by the Wolverines. This one right off of the chest of defensive back Rodney Denard. Now, Denard did have an interception today, but basically it was a 2-point conversion that failed.
Yeah, and that's the 5th interception that has been dropped by Woodland Hills today.
21 seconds to go here after the incompletion by Levi Matheny. Again, Matheny, 106 yards passing today, though he eclipsed the mark here on this final drive.
And 2 things are going to happen for Mr. Denard on Monday. He's going to get razzed, and he's going to wake up. He's going to have nightmares about that play.
Matheny, straight drop back, now dancing, driving his way forward. He lost the football. It's loose on the carpet. Bethel Park will cover it up. It'll be a loss of 1, and I'll ask for the clock to stop here. And Bethel Park taking a timeout. With 10 seconds to play in a 20-point deficit. Not quite sure why, but whatever the thought process is, it'll be ultimately a loss of 1 for Levi Matheny. Again, we'd like to thank the Woodland Hills Football Boosters Association for their sponsorship of today's television broadcast. Go to WHFBA.org, see how you can become a member of the Wolverine Nation. You can gain exclusive and unique benefits as part of the Wolverine Nation Booster Club. And of course, proceeds benefit the Woodland Hills Football Boosters Association. Also help out the Woodland Hills Football Boosters Association on Thursday. Come on down to Wing Night at the Wolverina, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. for whole wings, 4 different flavors. And it's an absolutely great way to prepare for Friday night football as Woodland Hills heads into the WPIAL semifinals. Matheny throwing to the left-hand side. Charlie Davis on the reception. He's chucked down hard. And the tackle by Derek Caraway. And when the ball is set, that will be the final play of the football game. Gain of 20 yards on that pass to Charlie Davis, incidentally. And the ball is set, and Woodland Hills officially defeats the Bethel Park Black Hawks 40-20 to advance to the WPIAL semifinals. Well, Fred, it was tenuous in the second half, but the Wolverines somehow did a gut check, and they did what they needed to do to advance to the semifinals.
Woodland Hills defensively had a rough third quarter, and I thought that they might, with the wind at the Bethel Park Blackhawks back, they were able to throw the ball down the field. But what really interests me the most is the fact that they decided to go more to the running game with the unbalanced line and then running behind those guys, and then were able to get the ball down the field and then put the ball in the end zone via the run and one via the pass.
Just getting word in my ear that Pittsburgh Central Catholic defeats North Allegheny 31-17. So Woodland Hills will take on Pittsburgh Central Catholic in the WPIAL semifinals. That's a rematch from last season's WPIAL quarterfinals. And looking back 2 seasons ago, Woodland Hills took on PCC in the WPIAL finals at Heinz Field in 2013.
Yeah, and a lot of these seniors remember these last 2 years of Pittsburgh Central Catholic knocking them out of the end zone or out of the playoffs. Last year coming by a shutout.
Yeah, Woodland Hills again defeating the Bethel Park Blackhawks 40-20 to advance to the WPIAL semifinals. They will take on Pittsburgh Central Catholic. We know it will be next Friday night. We know it will kick off at 7:30. We don't know where, but it could be right back here at West Mifflin High School. But we won't know that until sometime on Sunday afternoon. Again, Fred, Woodland Hills defensively had a rocky third quarter. Other than that, they put together a good football game. But offensively, the running game, it wasn't lights out, but it was super efficient as both Miles Sanders and Joel Shaw rushed for over 160 yards and 3 touchdowns each.
Yeah, and offensively they were able to keep themselves on the field, which is exactly what you want. You want to keep your offense on the field for as much of the ball game as possible. You kept Bethel Park's offense on the sideline, which is where they needed to be if you want to win this ball game.
Again, Woodland Hills defeating the Bethel Park Blackhawks 40-20 to advance to the WPIAL semifinals. Folks, on the television side, we will talk to you again next week as Woody High will take on Pittsburgh Central Catholic on the radio side. Stay tuned for the State Senator Jay Costa post-game show. For Fred Guy, I'm Adam Gusky, and you've been tuned into the Wolverines and the Blackhawks on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. This pizza cold. Well, my food.